So welcome back to the channel, and in a previous video a customer reached out to me and asked me to fix their PC. Had issues of instability, it was running really bad, and he was under the impression that it was possibly overheating. Went into it, dived into it, and I was able to fix the computer, no parts required. So if you're interested in that video, definitely check it out. But the deal was, for fixing their PC, they offered me this one, which absolutely, I'll take it. I love taking in trades, and two options that I do offer people is if they're buying a PC from me, I'll take their old PC, evaluate it, see if it's something that I can use or worthwhile or upgrade to flip or whatever the case may be, and I'll take that as credit towards a better PC for them. And then the other one too is that if they need their PC repaired, I'll waive the service fee and they could trade in some older computer parts that they might have on an older PC, and it works out really good. It's how you build inventory, it's how you build rapport with your customers, giving them better options. And then the other thing too is that it helps them out in the sense that a lot of the times they don't want to deal with getting their older computer fixed, factory reset, or whatever the case may be. So instead of just tossing it, they just rather trade it in and get rid of it that way. So it's a win-win, I guess, more so for me. But I do let them know, and I do give them the option, hey, you know, you could fix this, this might be worth more, or you can sell it this way, it might be worth more. But typically they just say, hey, just take it as trade and we'll call it even. So I do disclose that to customers. So this PC is broken, and according to the customer, it just keeps giving him blue screens every time he would turn it on, he would get into Windows. It was just constant blue screens, and that was one of the reasons why he bought the other PC. He was just done with this. So this thing has probably been sitting in the closet, I think he said, for about a year. So hopefully today we can figure out what is wrong with it. Maybe no parts required, but we'll see. So this is a cyberpowerpc, and I'm not a fan of these. I really don't care for these, or maybe I do. So I don't care for them in the sense that people fall for these computers. Number one, the name cyberpower, it's gotta mean that it has power. Number two, the way they look, the price, and they think, oh man, I got a good gaming PC. But more times than not, I have people that buy these things and then they have buyer's remorse because it's like, man, I paid for this, the performance is not there. And then if they would have spent a little extra more money, they could have gotten a better PC. So yeah, plus they come into the garage a lot. And one of the reasons why they do come into the garage that I have found is typically a bad power supply. And this is more the ones of this generation and older ones, is that the power supplies that they use are really cheap and they go bad. So I've changed tons of power supplies on this. Another one too is performance, because they're using single channel instead of dual channel. Overheating, little to no airflow, so that's always an issue. But then again, I do like these PCs in the sense that they come in the garage and I'm able to make money fixing them. So good for me, not good for the customers. So let's pop this on the bench. Let's take a look at it, see what the specs are, see if we could get it working, duplicate the customer's initial problem, and see if we can fix it. So first things first, it is very dusty. That might be dandruff, not 100% sure. So, but not terribly bad. I mean, I don't see it like caked with dust bunnies and that type of stuff. And also this case actually has decent airflow in the front. You can actually, I don't know if you can see my hands there, but you actually have due airflow. So you have two 120s. These are intake, a 120 in the back, exhaust, nothing on the top. So not bad. And taking a look at it, she's been touched before, and I'll go over that in just a sec. So as far as our graphics card, we have, it says 4 gigs. So as far as our graphics card, it doesn't say the name. It does say RX Cyber BVF 4 gigs. And just looking at it, XFX with this type of cooler, I imagine an RX 570, maybe a 580, probably a 570. But we do have a storage drive, M.2, which I'm pretty sure this is not the original one. Typically when I see these, they have a SATA drive. So this is an M.2. It's a Air Disk M.2 2280 512 gig. As far as the motherboard, we have an ASRock A320M AC. I really wonder if that's the motherboard that this came with. Probably is, but you know, with this case, you could put a better motherboard in there. Let's see, memory, Crucial Ballistics, and we have 8 gigs of DDR4 3200 with XMP. Okay. Now this is an AMD, so hopefully a Ryzen 5, probably a Ryzen 3. And anything else to note? Nope, not really. Now, as far as the back, we do have Wi-Fi, but we are missing an antenna. That's cool. PS2, 1.2, bunch of USBs, Ethernet, HDMI. One of the things that leads me to believe that this computer has been worked on before is the power supply, EVGA. I have never seen a cyberpowerpc with an EVGA power supply. Maybe they do have them. You can let me know in the comments, but I've never seen one with an EVGA power supply. And just kind of taking a look at it, we have an EVGA 600 GD, and that's about it. Fantex cables over here, so maybe this is a Fantex case. I don't know, this computer is weird. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's been touched, but anywho's. Anything else? Molex for the fans, that's amazing, and no extra storage over here. So that's pretty much what we got. Now what I am going to go ahead and do is just dust this thing out just to start clean. Much better. So now let's go ahead and do a smell test. Okay, I don't smell burned. I don't smell signs of roaches. I don't smell signs of urine. And the reason why I say urine is sometimes I've had this happen. Customers have their computers in a place where the animals mark their territory. That's pretty gross. So we don't have evidence of that. I do see something up here, which is kind of weird. It's a little bit like rusty. So there's a screw there. That's rusty. I mean, it doesn't look like anything got spilled, but I don't know, it's hard to say. A little corrosion just from humidity. But diving into everything else, I don't see no evidence that the graphics card got wet, the motherboard. Everything else seems to be okay. It just looks like something happened on this area, but we're definitely gonna have to give this a good cleaning if this works and it's worth it. So what I'm gonna do now is plug it in, fire up, see what it does or does not do. Get some keyboard action going. Power supply on position. Let's fire up. Ooh, we got blue. Do we get a post? Oh, sweet. Does it have Windows installed? Nope. Reboot and select proper boot device. So let's go ahead and get a copy of Windows. Let's plug that in. Reboot the system. And I think it's 11, F11. That allows me to get to which boot device I want to use. Yeah, F11 for boot menu. Okay, picks up my USB. It does pick up the storage drive. If you saw, I said air disk 512, so that's a good thing. So we're picking up the storage drive. Is this really that easy? So now they kept on saying that they were getting blue screens, but my question is, did they try to reinstall Windows? Or did Windows just get corrupted? I don't know. But we'll find out. But we're off to a good start. So let's go ahead, let's install Windows 11 and then see what happens. So not sure if you caught that. So we had a blue screen and it was while it was installing Windows. Could it be a bad M.2? Not sure. So we got a couple of avenues that we can go. We could try swapping the memory, which would be the easiest thing to do, or the M.2. We're gonna go down the path of least resistance. And I think between the memory and the M.2, that would be the easiest way to go. If we swap those out and it still gives us the blue screen, then we could dive deeper, try a different graphics card, take a look at the CPU, all that type of stuff. But before we do that, let's go ahead into the BIOS. Let's just take a look at the settings, make sure something is not overclocked. I doubt it. I've had that happen where people overclock their computers or change settings in the BIOS, and that creates a lot of instability issues. So let's start there first. So we made it to the BIOS, and now we can learn exactly what we have. We have a Ryzen 3 3100, which, not terrible, but I mean, it works. 8 gigs of DDR4, which we knew that, we checked it. OC, anything over here that's just sticking out? No, everything looks normal. CPU configuration. I mean, I'm really not seeing anything that's gonna stick out. Temperatures look good. CPU temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, considering we're using a basic cooler. Let's play with a couple of settings here real quick. If they don't work, then I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna start with the storage drive. So did a bunch of work off camera, messing with a bunch of settings in the BIOS, CSM, secure boot, all that type of stuff, and just switching things on and off. I did try another copy of Windows 11. I did try a USB of Windows 10, and the same thing happens. I keep getting that blue screen when it starts installing Windows after setting up the partitions. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the M.2. And the reason why I'm going down that route first is because it consistently does it every time it starts writing to the drive. It still could be the memory, it still could be the CPU, but I'm gonna start there first. That's my hunch, that's where I'm going, and I think that's gonna be the best thing. So let's do that. Now our storage drive is right over here, which the screw doesn't look, I mean, I guess it works. Maybe it is the right one. But typically these screws are like flatter. Whatever, it works. So this is an AirDisk M.2 2280 512, not an NVMe. Now I did find this one lying around, and this is a 512 gig Phison. Not sure if this one works or why I just have it lying around, but let's go ahead and try it. If it keeps doing the same thing at the same spot, then I know it's not the storage, but let's give it a go. So my apologies, I forgot to turn the camera on, but in a nutshell, after installing the drive, Windows 11 installed without any issues. I ran all the drivers, all the updates, and we're good to go. Computer has been solid and stable. I installed Steam, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Cyberpunk. We are going to test this computer to see how well it performs, but everything is running great. As far as this drive, I'm not exactly sure what is wrong with it. I'll have to pop it in another system and test it. It's probably a compatibility issue if I had to guess, but either way, I'm glad I went with my gut and changed the drive first. So I am running Furmark, but for this graphics card, it is an RX 570, the 4 gig flavor. We've been running this test for about 12 minutes and temperature is 76 degrees Celsius. These cards do run a little warm, but we also don't have any of the panels on. So we're probably gonna have to do a fresh thermal paste on it if I had to assume. I also see that the warranty void sticker is still on there, so it's never been done. Definitely couldn't hurt, and we'll do the same thing with the CPU. But before we dive into all that, let's go ahead, let's fire up some games and see how well this thing performs. So Shadow of the Tomb Raider, 1080p, medium settings. We're at 64, 65. We're probably gonna be about 60 frames per second, maybe a little less than that. Game looks good, it's running smooth. System seems to be stable. So let's go ahead, let's finish this and let's see what our averages are. So our average 65 frames per second. It's actually not bad, but this is an older title. Let's go ahead, let's dive into Cyberpunk and see where we're at. So Cyberpunk 1080p, low settings, AMD, resolution, fidelity, FX, I forget what that's called. But anywho's, let's go ahead, let's try playing, see where we're at. So starts at 60, we're probably gonna dip to about 50, but the game looks pretty decent for this RX 570. I really didn't think it was gonna play as well as it does. That's kind of cool. Ping, bing, 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 get up, get up. Man, I stink at this game. Mostly because I'm not familiar with the controls, and I'm sure if I was to actually invest in this game, and many people have said I really need to play this game and get into it, but it's never been my cup of tea for some reason. I just could not get into this game, and I like games like this. But anywho's, we have some dips to below 50, but I mean, considering the stutters are not bad, and I'm sure if we tweak the settings, it could be better. And then I just realized too that I'm not actually using the latest AMD drivers, just the one that Windows installs. So we might get a couple more frames per second out of that, but GPU 100%, CPU temperatures not too bad. I will say I had low expectations of this and it actually is doing better than what I thought. So pretty cool, playable, usable, not too bad. Let's go ahead, let's wrap this video up. So not bad for an hour's work of my time for that other computer, no parts required. I got this. And the only thing I needed to do was change the storage drive, which I'm not sure what's wrong with it. It could be that it's just bad or compatibility issue. I'll tinker with that later just to make sure and find out. But considering I had low expectations for this computer and it performed really well, considering they were able to play Cyberpunk, Shadow of the Tomb Raider 1080p, low to medium settings, 60 frames per second, and there's still room to play a bunch of other games. It's actually pretty decent. Another thing too is that there's room to upgrade. We could definitely put a better CPU, more memory, which I'm probably gonna end up putting 16 gigs dual channel in there just to squeeze a little extra performance, better graphics card, and plus the big win, it doesn't have that traditional CyberPower power supply that I've seen that come with these things that are complete junk. It has a EVGA, a decent one. So this thing will hold up and last. And yes, I do know that the power supply was changed because the bread trails. Hear me out. When I blew dust out of everything else, there was like no dust, and looking inside here, that power supply does look a lot newer. Plus there's witness marks where the screws have been taken out, all that type of evidence on there. So it's good to see a decent power supply. This thing does have RGB. You could change the colors, or there you go, like that, which honestly, that really is what sells these computers. But considering it's a pretty decent system, after fixing what's wrong with it. As far as what I would sell it for, I have to gauge the market. When I sell a computer, I have to look at what the specs are, what are computers that are comparable to it selling for, and then I can kind of see, maybe I could probably get for about $200 into it. I could sell it for, which is not bad considering, what, $30 for the storage drive. So there's meat on the bones definitely to be made. I just have to see what computers that are similar are going for. Slap a cheap mouse, monitor, keyboard, and that's a win. But all in all, pretty decent, happy with it. I'm gonna spend some time cleaning it up. I'll pop in more memory on it, get it prepared, ready to go, and move on to the next computer. So with all that being said, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. Was this a good deal for my services? What upgrades would you do for it? And what are your thoughts and opinions on CyberPower? If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.